Harry Caray, coming at you for another episode of Bauman's Breakdown, brought to you by Cracker Jacks. And today, we got a little rock and roll for you out of Memphis, Tennessee, as Surrender the Falls, Jared Cole sits down and talks to Mike Bauman. Keep an eye on this young fella, everybody. Out of Toledo, Ohio, doing these shows and writing stories. He's a good young guy. I love him to death, almost as much as I love my Cubbies and Cracker Jacks. Like a seventh-inning stretch, he provides the relief and the entertainment for you. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Mike Bauman.
I figured you'd say something about Jay Cutler last night.
Jay Cutler?
From the Bears.
Oh, my.
There you go.
Oh, my, Jay Cutler. What happened?
He got another boom boom on his head.
Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. Jason Campbell, I haven't seen him since the Cubbies were competing for a title before the Bartman Ball. He came out of nowhere last night, but boy, those Texans down there in Houston are good. Boy, that was a slobber knocker last night.
That was an ugly game last night. That was an ugly game.
Absolute slobber knocker. A lot of people thought that could be, potential Super Bowl preview right there. But the Bears really struggled, and Houston's tough, man.
You know what, though?
Houston's tough.
I mean, there were a couple of calls early in the game which would have put the Bears up a couple of touchdowns, and I don't care. I don't like. I'm a Dolphins fan. What difference does it make?
Yeah.
But there were some really weird. What do you do? I mean, even the guys calling the game were talking. He says, "Wow, that was definitely pass interference," and it's, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a Lions fan, and they've been really disappointing this year. I think they're done now after losing to Minnesota. I hate to say it, but they got to play Houston on Thanksgiving. I think they still have to play the Packers twice, so that could potentially.
Twice?
Yeah, because it's a division rival. And I don't think they've played them yet. I'm pretty sure they have not played Green Bay yet. So I think they have to play them twice over like a 5 or 6 week span towards the end of the season. Not looking good for the Lions right now. But for us, we just finished up football. Actually, unfortunately, with Genoa, we do high school football, as y'all know, and went down to Findlay, Ohio, and It was one of those games where we thought it was going to be a close one. Two tough teams that run the football, just typical high school football, what you picture. And Ottawa Glandorf just basically ran them off the field.
It was almost like a high school team playing a Division II school out of college. That's what it looked like. I mean, they were just pushing Genoa off the line.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was tough. It was a tough, but you know what? Genoa 6 straight playoff run. They finished 11-1. Not too many teams can say that. So
without a quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad Kyle at least got a touchdown. You know, Kyle Nutter. Keep an eye on that name. I think you will absolutely see him at the next level. I would be really shocked, Mike, if he didn't get a D1 shot at D1. I really would. I don't know if he'll get. I mean, we'll see who comes in scholarship-wise, but I would be really surprised if he didn't at least get a chance at the Division I level, because I really think he's fast enough. He's definitely strong enough.
Well, you saw there just had to be more scouts than known to man at that game Friday night, down in beautiful Findlay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful till it rained.
Well, it's cool. It's a cool stadium, but it's a lot like Fremont in that it's right in the middle of a neighborhood.
It makes it
so
tough.
If you get there, like I got there about 6:15 and drove around the stadium for about 25 minutes trying to figure out where to park. But we parked and it was cool and the place was packed. And kudos to Ottawa Glandorf, man. They're a tough team. They got a big one this week against Bishop Hartley.
Where's that game going to be? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea. Well, Bishop, Columbus, and Ottawa, so somewhere in between Columbus, it'll be Western Ohio, I'm guessing, between Columbus and Glandorf.
Ohio or maybe something down that way.
Yeah, and Central plays Avon. My alma mater, Central Catholic, plays Avon, who knocked them out last year. So it's an exciting time of the year, baby.
Yep.
It's an exciting time of the year.
And we got a weekend off. Well, maybe not. We might have a basketball game Saturday. Maybe.
Yeah. But yes, once again, this is Mike Bauman with
Okay, let's start the show.
with Mike Jameson, my cohort, and all these shenanigans, broadcasting, radio, TV, internet. We try to do as much as we can, and we're jacks of all trade, and we got Cracker Jacks.
I can't do Harry Caray.
You can't do Harry Caray?
Sometimes I can. It just depends. In the morning, I can't.
That's pretty close, right? I get pretty close.
Yeah,
too.
you're there. You nailed him. You got him. I liked when we had our radio show and you did Harry Caray at the Masters. That was the best. And of course, we made some people very upset with that, but that's all right. That's what we're supposed to do.
You know what? Those are the same type of people that thought Caddyshack wasn't funny. So.
Exactly.
Enough said.
Exactly. And they wear those plaid pants and.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can talk about them since they probably wouldn't be listening to this, huh?
Yeah, we actually took some crap after that show
Yes,
about how we weren't going to get any advertising money because we made fun of golf.
And we never got any advertising money anyway, so
Right.
it didn't matter. You know?
And one of the guys, Dave, who secretly is plotting to kill me right
Yes,
now,
he
was not happy with me at all after that.
He's actually just called me this week and let me know that he, because he has stock in my company, I guess we'll leave it at. And he said, well, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to do my own segment on the golf TV show next year. And I always say, give me a good new idea. And the idea has always been, I've got a great new idea, Mike. And once a month, I'll go out and I'll golf against somebody, and then it'll be like a challenge match. And I go, well, Dave, that was your idea about a month ago. Matter of fact, that was your idea 2 months ago. Matter of fact, that was your idea 4 years ago, 6 years ago. By the way, we've been doing this 16 years. It's the same. All he wants to do is get on TV golfing against somebody. That's his every way. Well, we'll give him a pizza. If I beat him, we'll give him a pizza. And really? Okay. And I love Dave to death. He's, he believed in us. So, and I've always let him do it.
Yeah.
I've always let him do it. So we'll put Dave.
I think he's probably going crazy without us doing the radio show right now.
Oh, I know.
Because he doesn't have an avenue to disagree with me. Well, this morning the skies are sunny and blue. No.
You're wrong, Mike.
No, that's not, no. That's all he says is no. How you doing today? No. You want some butter in your pancakes? No. You want some, how about a Western omelet? Those are usually pretty good. You get the hash browns in there, the ham, the green peppers. No. Well, no, you said no. And I'm like, all right, Dave, all right. I'm just going to start calling him no. The nicest he's ever been to me was when he showed up at one of the Rossford basketball games that we did last year.
Uh-huh.
And he brought pizzas for the crew, and he was like, I bet the girls like when they see him coming. I was like, oh my God, Dave actually gave me a little bit of a compliment. And then Saturday morning next week was back to no.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. When I was remember that was the biggest one.
But what? And then the whole time you're talking.
He's a mumbler. He's a mumbler. Yeah, it just keeps going like that. Yeah, God love him. But but yeah, on this week's show, this is we don't have any no's.
We've just blown 8 minutes. And
we did.
Like, gee,
we did.
I just hit redo.
If you're still with us, thanks for still being with us.
I apologize for the fact.
No, actually, I will find a tie-in because
I know you do.
We had a bad hurricane,
in.
as in Hurricane Sandy. We had a bad hurricane, and we also just talked about football. And ironically, with the band that is going to be featured on the show this week on Bauman's Breakdown. Go to baumansbreakdown.podbean.com if you're not there right now listening to it. But there's a guy who in the band who dealt with Hurricane Katrina, and then there's also a guy in the band, this particular band, who was a high school football star until he blew out his ACL, MCL, and PCL all in one play as in high school, and his career is pretty much over. God love him. But the band that I'm talking about is Surrender the Fall out of Memphis, Tennessee. Their debut album, Burn in the Spotlight, just came out in September, and they were actually in Toledo twice in September
once with Nonpoint, once with My Darkest Days, and really they've got a great story. They're a band that, as I said, came out of Memphis and has really busted their butts over the last several years to get where they are now and get a record deal with Rum Bum Records, which is Rum Bum is owned by Louis Bacardi. You recognize that name, don't you, Mikey?
Yes.
But that's his imprint, Rum Bum, and they did a showcase for him in Chicago, and he loved what he saw a little while back, and their debut record came out. And it's been doing pretty well. They've been doing well on the charts. I'm sure everybody that's listening to this has heard the song Love, Hate, Masquerade, which was tearing up active rock radio and kept climbing and climbing and climbing. So it was awesome to get a chance to talk to the lead singer, the vocalist, Jared Cole, do a phone interview with him before they came to Toledo for the second time with Nonpoint. And like I said, just a really cool story of perseverance. Memphis has a very competitive, very deep, historic music scene, as everybody knows. And for a rock and roll band coming out of there was a lot of competition for these guys. And it's been an uphill battle for them for the last probably 7 years. And just in the last couple of years, they've really kind of gained a full head of steam, toured, picked up a lot of fans, really, grinding it out on the road as an opener. Because as you know, Mike, when you're an opening band or an opening act, you really got to bring it every single night.
Oh, definitely.
And because
or you get thrown at.
Right. And they've opened for some heavy hitters. Nonpoint, as I said, is a very great live band. You've heard them on this show. But Jared was a really nice guy, and we talked about their story. We talked about them coming up in Memphis. And as I said, they've been through the ringer, not just in the music scene, but their guitarist, Eddie, lost everything in Hurricane Katrina. He's a Louisiana native. Their other guitarist, Anthony, was a high school football star. And boom, all done in one play. And for these guys, they've had some alternating members over the years, but they've stuck together and came out with their debut record. And as I said, Burn in the Spotlight. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. Go to surrenderthefall.com or facebook.com/surrenderthefall. But Jared Cole... It was just awesome to talk to him. He was a really, really cool guy, really laid back, and he was more than happy to tell me about his band and his story. So without further ado, I want to shut the heck up and make sure that you guys get all the deets on Surrender the Fall. So here is vocalist Jared Cole of Surrender the Fall. Well, first, man, I just want to say thanks for taking some time with me today. I appreciate it. And, you guys have really been on quite the road to this point, but what's it like just after 7 years to finally have your debut record coming out and be able to get that out to people?
I can't even describe it to you. It's, we've all been playing for a long time, and we've even had this project around for, like you said, 7 years. And for me, you kind of thought, like, for a while that the day would never get there, and now it's finally here, and we're all really excited about it. We can't wait to see what everybody thinks about it, and yeah, man, we're elated. The best word I can use.
Now, you're originally from Memphis, right?
That's right.
What was it like growing up down there? I know that has a pretty historic and big music scene. Do you just kind of get into music by osmosis down there?
I guess you could say. My mother always used to say that I was born with a mic in my hand, but I come from a very musically inclined family. My father was in music. My older sister was in music. My mother, she sang. As far as the scene in Memphis, that kind of transferred. I grew up in it and just met people. It's a really cutthroat scene. It's really hard because everybody's, from this area, so they've got that kind of root and background, and everybody wants to do something with it, and it's tough. It gets really competitive sometimes, but there's a lot of great artists here in Memphis too.
How early on did you know that that performing was something that you wanted to do? Was that from a pretty early age?
I think I was 12 or 13 when I first started wanting to learn how to play guitar, and learning how to sing, and I think about 12 or 13 years old, and I was pretty much hooked into it. My sister is piano very well, and we used to sit around and just work on melodies and harmonies all the time, her and I, and that kind of got me into the motion of it. And then when I got into high school, I experimented with different styles and different genres and stuff like that, and it always seemed to come back to some rock and roll, and where it is today. So I used to play football, and that didn't last very long because I decided music was my thing, so I was going to focus more on music than football, and I quit football. I think it pissed my old man off, but I don't think it matters too much now. I was back in the day.
Did you quit before varsity?
Yeah, I think I quit my freshman year of high school. I was just like, I don't feel like I have enough room for this. I mean, it was fun, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But, and like, there's a couple other guys, big in the sports that are in the band too. Like Anthony was a good football player too. And, but for me, it was kind of, I took myself out of football, and Anthony was kind of mistakenly taken out of football. He had a really bad injury incident that happened that pulled him out, sort of thrust him into music as well.
Yeah, I read that he was pretty highly recruited when he was in high school, and he blew out his knee.
Yeah, well, I think he says it's MCL, ACL, and PCL, I think, like all in one motion. And, completely took him out of everything. And he had a ride going. So,
Yeah, that's football is a brutal game, man. I stopped playing when I was 14, and I don't really regret it. I stopped after my freshman year too. I was kind of getting thrown around like Rudy out there, and I was like, I kind of want to be able to walk when I'm 25. So.
Right. Well, I think for us is that we still kind of get a little bit of sport in it too, because our live show is pretty energetic, so we consider that kind of a pretty intense sport in itself. So I think we're all right at this point.
Yeah. Now, how did the formation of this band, Surrender the Fall, come about? Like, when did this start to take shape?
Well, I've been in Memphis, and some friends of mine came up from New Orleans before Katrina, and we started jamming together when Katrina happened. And the guys that I was jamming with just happened to be old bandmates of Eddie, my guitar player. And this whole story short, they called up and they're like, "Hey man, we got this new project. You should come out and check it out. You should join, come play with us." And he's like, "Man, I'm rebuilding everything." He lost everything, like completely wiped it out. And he's like, "I want to rebuild my life back here, my family's here. I just can't leave." They're like, "All right." So a couple weeks later, they go down and to go pick up some more gear and move back up to Memphis, and Eddie needs them out. And they're like, "We're getting on this, the band that we're working with." And he listened to it, asked him what he thought. He said, "I'll be down there in a week." Up there in a week, I guess. So sure enough, a week later, Eddie was here, and was already locked in. Has been here ever since. As said before, Anthony came from a football accident and started playing music, and he actually came in on a clutch situation too. We had like a week to get ready for this 3 or 4 days worth of traveling shows, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a tour, but it was about 3 or 4 shows, and he had like a week to get ready for it. I had a guy, a previous member, decide to quit pretty abruptly. So I remember previously talking to Anthony about coming in and playing, or getting something started or whatever. So I knew he worked at Guitar Center here in Memphis, and I called Guitar Center, and sure enough, Anthony's actually the one that answers the phone. But I'm like, "All right, man. Well, you still looking for a gig?" And he's like, "Yeah, I came in with less than a week, learned the whole 45-minute set. He's been here ever since as well." So Devin came in. We've been friends with Devin and the team for a long time. And sure enough, he started coming in, he started playing bass, and just never left. And then we didn't really want him to leave. So, and Ed, which is actually the newest, most recent member of Surrender the Fall, Ed came from a band called On a Dead Machine that was out of here in Memphis. Played in a couple of other successful bands as well, and had quite a few successful adventures with those projects. And as bands do, we got into a position where we were going to need a drummer, and Ed got wind that we were looking, and we got to talking, and he heard the record. He just said it was something that exactly what he wanted to do, and he jumped on board. So we've got the core now, and this is the tightest knit it's been in history of Surrender the Fall. So we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
What were the struggles like for you guys as a DIY band that was just sort of building from the ground up, especially at a time in the music industry in the last 5-10 years when things just have totally changed from the way they were 15 years ago?
Well, I recall incurring a lot of debt from borrowing from many people. We did our best to play as much as possible and to we DIY a lot of merch a lot of times, and we had close family help us out, whether it was painting somebody's house or building rooms. I think we built our own practice room at one point inside of the garage, so it could be a little more isolated. It was tough. We didn't have a lot of the resources that we have now with our label Rum Bum, which helps out a lot. But I think it kept us honest. We pushed and had to push and pull for years and years until finally we catching a little bit of a break, and I think it kept us in a mind frame that was going to keep us grounded and rooted, and not get us all crazy off in la la land like it's happened in the past for some people.
How did the relationship with Rum Bum Records come about?
It's kind of funny. We got messaged by Mr. Louis Bacardi, and we thought it was some kind of spam at first. We thought, we read the first thing, and it was a really short, very, what's the word you want? It was just very short. It wasn't even, like full-blown official letter or anything like that. It was just him contacting us, going, "Hey, what's up? I like you guys. I have a label. Let's talk." And it had been so long at that point, man, that everybody was just kind of frustrated, and we were starting to get kind of jaded, I guess. And so it actually went by us 2 or 3 times before we finally go, okay, maybe this guy's got something to do with something. And then we find out a little bit of the backstory. Eddie, a family friend of his, was actually a friend of Louis Bacardi. And I think they were driving somewhere, and Louis was like, "What's this?" And put our little demo in, and he was like, "I like it. I want to talk to these guys." And that's how it got started. It's kind of a weird Cinderella story in a way, but that's really how it got started.
So it took a few times you guys sort of getting messaged over and over by him to realize it wasn't fake.
It was like 2 or 3 times, just because the first time we had, we got kind of jaded, it taken so long, and we were broke, and it was just at the point where we're like, all right, we're going to take some time off. We're going to have to go and work a lot harder and, save up some money so we can do the things we want to do. And I think it was because of all that, we didn't really take anything seriously in the very beginning because, we were just kind of at the end of our rope. And, we're all still happened. It just kind of came together, and everything started working. And we said, you know, we're going to get in touch with Mr. Bacardi and see what all this is about. And he goes to Chicago and sat down and met with them after we showcased for him at the official, what was it, the Lollapalooza after party at Hard Rock Hotel in Chicago. And said he loved it. And after that, we went and recorded. And I mean, just, you know, from there on out, you know, it's just been rolling along.
Yeah, I mean, can you build on just sort of what you were talking about a little bit with the band just not giving up? That's kind of what the band name Surrender the Fall is kind of birthed out of, right? Like it's about, I read that you said it's sort of about not giving in to failure.
Right. It's about giving up the option to fail. You know, I think for all of us, like I said, it was never a situation of we were just giving up, but we had just been so worn out by everything. To recharge, and we needed to take care of some things. And I myself, I sat on my buddy's couch for 9 months and wrote this record. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we all take part in writing this record. Everybody has input, but for me, being a songwriter and a lyricist, and that's what I did. You know, I took kind of this motion of what had been going on and applied that to everything else that I've had and everything else that I was feeling, and we just kind of, you know, things started turning around, and we eventually got to the point to where things were too coincidental that we just had to go ahead and see what was left. We had to take it that one more step, because I don't think any of us could have taken it, you know, mentally or emotionally, you know, if this was like some kind of hoax and we were getting, you know, led to a pond with no water in it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, we took another chance, and sure enough, it was the real deal, and everything just kind of transpired from that.
After listening to the record, I think the one thing that just stood out to me about your guys' music is just how honest, like, every song is. I mean, it really doesn't seem like there's anything pretentious about the songs, whether it's like more of sort of the party anthem type of songs or you know, the rock and roll type of songs, and sort of more of the slowed down acoustic-y type of stuff. I mean, what, as a songwriter, were you just totally coming from personal experience with this record?
Absolutely. Not always pretty or glamorous or glorious or whatever you want to call it, you know, but I wanted, you know, we sat down and we tried to write, and we have so many different backgrounds and influences, and we just said we're not going to stick to a genre, we're going to write good songs. In our opinion, what are good songs? However it comes out, if it's slower or faster, as long as it's honest, as long as it's saying everything that you want to say. Somebody told me a long time ago that best songs you'll ever write are the ones you don't want anyone else to read. And that kind of makes it, I don't know, it gives me a little bit of an idea when I know I'm on to something, when it gets that personal for me. That I'm almost scared to show it to my guys, you know what I mean? We wanted to be honest, and we wanted to be real, and we wanted to have something that people could relate to, and somebody could read these songs and go, you know, that's exactly how I was feeling, but I never knew how to put it into words until, you know, you did it there, so.
Now, you guys recorded this at Sonic Ranch, which, from what I understand, is just kind of out in the middle of nowhere in Texas, like really close to Mexico. What was that experience like?
Sonic Ranch Studios is located in a town called Tornillo, Texas, about 8 miles from Juarez, and it was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in my whole life. Doing your first record, you know, I mean, obviously that's going to be an amazing experience, or your first major record. But, you know, we went out there, and it's all residential. You live out there for, in our case, we several miles down the way from us, there were Border Patrol officers, like, walking the paths and stuff. Like, literally, you could throw a rock at them. You know, they were that close. And it was a little strange for us because you never knew what was going to happen. And Devin woke up once, and one morning and found a bullet hole in one of his windows where we were staying. I mean, it could have been stray, it could have been just shrapnel going off, or shrapnel, rounds in I don't know, in a shell. I mean, there were ghosts. That place was haunted. It was crazy. It was so crazy. But it was really good because it gave us a completely different perspective to draw off of as far as energy for this record and ideas and creativity and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
In the back of your mind, was there ever a point where you're thinking, like, damn it, like, we're finally able to record a record, and there's a cartel about a few miles from here? Were you ever like, come on?
I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I mean, I knew everything was pretty safe, and people were staying in the States, but, you never know at a time, where countries go through war and crime and stuff like that. You never know what could happen, especially in your own backyard, or in their own backyard. So, I mean, yeah, the definite apprehension was there, but we just, I don't know. I think the people there made us feel pretty safe. Tony at the ranch has like an arsenal of guns and just massive weaponry. It's unbelievable. And that kind of made us feel pretty safe. So, but no, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It didn't scare us that much.
And not to get too far off track, but like ghost wise, were you just like wake up in the middle of the night and something weird would happen? I mean, do you have any?
All right. Devin, my bass player, Devin Hightower, went to sleep one night, wakes up in the middle of the night, or maybe it's early that morning. I don't remember exactly what time it was, but he says he felt something breathing on the back of his neck, and it scared him, and he jumped. And Devin rolls off the bed and ends up slamming his face into a chair that's sitting right there. So imagine a chair sitting right there. And then you roll off, face first towards the floor, bust his nose, and he's standing up. He goes out in the hallway and just throws the chair down the hallway so bad. He's looking for the bathroom, bleeding all over the place. We're asking him, like, the next day, I didn't get the story until the next day, and I wake up and I'm like, dude, what happened? He tells the story. He's like, I'm in the closet looking for the sink. He's like, I was completely disoriented. I didn't know where I was at. I was just like, oh my God, man. Something ended up missing. So it was pretty crazy.
What did Lennon bring out of you guys? What was it like to work with him?
I'm sorry?
What did you guys recorded with? Was it Lennon Murphy?
Lennon, yes, we recorded with Lennon Murphy. She was great, man. She came in, and the first time I've really dove that far deep with an outside production mind and writer, and like as far as melodies and stuff like that. She's so smart, so talented. She's an incredible songwriter. She's a great piano player. And we sat in and we bounced ideas off of each other really, really well. We talked over the phone before we even met, and just kind of talked about the direction that we both wanted to take this thing. And she said, "Is there anything that you won't write about, anything that you won't say?" And of course, my background as far as that being the best songs you'll ever write are the ones you don't want anyone else to read. So I'm like, all right, no. I mean, I'm 100% in. So, we dove into it and just really tried to push the back of the envelope. And she's very good at what she does. She's an incredible songwriter, and she pushed us really hard in the studio. Me especially, because she made me comp my own vocals at first, and I thought it was hell on earth. So I decided, all right, I have to do better in the studio because I don't want anybody comping my vocals. You know what I mean?
And in the last years, you guys have got the ball rolling. Just in the last couple of years too, you've been on the road with Nonpoint and All That Remains, which are two bands that really have just a really really crazy live show. I mean, what did you take away from the road and with those guys, and what was the response like just with their fans?
We were really apprehensive about that tour in particular, actually. Being that it was a metal tour, for us it was kind of like, we're pretty much straight up just aggressive rock and roll, and we didn't know how it was going to go. And I think we just stuck to the whole idea of everything being honest, and we're just going to go out there, we're going to give it an honest effort, and that's going to be what we leave on stage. We're just going to give 110%. And we did every night, and every night we got a great response. The response is like, we weren't expecting this coming out of an opener. We got that a lot, and then we got, you guys are just rock. You're not metal, but I still love the set. Where can I find your music? So I mean, it was really welcoming. As far as what we took from that, I have to say this about Nonpoint. There's nobody with a live show like Nonpoint. Those guys come and it's like rock school 101, and they bring it every night, night after night. Whether they're sick, whether they had a great day or a bad day, I mean, anything, they bring it every single night. And for us, it was setting the tone for something of that magnitude, and we had to do it every night. So the pressure was on, and we're good under pressure. And I think that that's what we pulled from that. It's just being an intense live show.
And the last thing I'll ask you, man, and thanks again, Jared, for taking some time with me today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
You guys were just in Toledo, actually, with Nonpoint last week, and you'll be here again. I think it's next week with My Darkest Days. What was the show like in Toledo, and what's it going to be like to come back here?
Toledo was great. We had a lot of fun on the Toledo show, and I'm really excited about coming back to Toledo. That was towards the end of the run, and we got one of the best responses from there. We told everybody that we're coming back, and we're hoping that everybody comes back out and sees this. We're going to change the setup a little bit too, so the bands can definitely expect to hear maybe a new song or two in there. But yeah, Toledo was great. We love Toledo.
Well, Jared, thanks again, man, for taking almost a half hour of your time with me today. It was fun talking to you, and I guess at this point, if you guys can survive Ghosts and Cartels and Katrina, then you can pretty much get through the road, right?
Man, that's what we're hoping for. And thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
For sure. I hope the show and the tour coming up for you guys goes great, man.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right, thanks.
Bye. Alrighty, Dighty. That was Jared Cole of Surrender the Fall.
Where do you get these Dighty thingies?
Alrighty, Dighty. That's a little Mike-ism.
That's like my Aunt Irma would say something like that.
Alrighty, Dighty.
Alrighty, Dighty.
Alrighty, Dighty.
Yeah, somebody say toodaloos, but...
toodaloos.
Guys, please get back to music.
That was Jared Cole. Wow. Yeah. Yep. I can't do that on live TV, so I just did it now. Jared Cole. It's early in the morning, folks, when we do this.
That's what you get when you own the network, see?
That was, I will enunciate, that was Jared Cole. I'll do a jazz station. Jared Cole of Surrender the Fall. And see, I hate messing it up because it's like I know what his name is, but it just came out Call because I was thinking of words and you asked me about my Mike-isms and alrighty dighties. And,
I'm doing this for everybody, too.
It got mixed up.
If you're a little hard of hearing, I'm doing the signs.
Doing the signs?
Yeah, like it.
It got mixed up. But no, Jared Cole, everybody. Jared Cole of Surrender the Fall. I can't say enough about the guy. It was awesome talking to him. It was a great conversation. And he was really, really down to earth and just really nice. And I like talking to down to earth and nice people. And he's very happy to be where he is with Surrender the Fall after all these years coming out of Memphis to finally have label support. with Louis Bacardi and company and have a tight-knit group in the band right now. And I hope you guys check them out. You know, maybe if you hadn't been familiar with them before this, I hope you get familiar with them. That's one of my goals for this podcast. If you listen to it, you're going to get artists that are from the local area that I come out of in Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, and you're also going to get national artists that you're very familiar with, but you're also going to get artists that are up-and-coming bands like Surrender the Fall. So I really hope that you check them out. Maybe if you're a musician yourself, it can inspire you to keep plugging away and doing what you're doing, because these guys definitely had their backs against the wall and really put together a great record and Burn in the Spotlight, which came out in September. And once again, like I said, if you haven't heard Love, Hate, Masquerade, that's the big smash off of it, but that's not the only good song on there. It's got a lot of different variety and from the rock realm. There's some more acoustically driven stuff, and then there's some more hit-you-in-the-face types of songs, but really it's just a good old-fashioned rock and roll record. It's definitely comes from the soul, and there's nothing pretentious about it, and that's why I think these guys are going to continue to make noise. But make sure you check them out at facebook.com/surrenderthefall. Go to surrenderthefall.com. And I just want to say thanks again to Jared. Jared, if you're checking this out, if you're listening to it, buddy, I appreciate it, man. I'm happy for you guys and where you're going right now, and I hope you continue to hit up the tour circuit. And if you get back in Toledo again, I hope we get in touch again. It was awesome talking to you, so thank you. I also want to say thank you and give a shout-out to Erica, who sets up the press for those guys and got me in touch with them and got me a preview of their record when I did this story for Toledo Free Press a couple months ago when they were here. Thank you, Erica, for giving me the permission to use this and all the good work that you do. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can be in touch for some more stuff in the future. And make sure you check us out at ToledoFreePress.com. That's where you can find my handiwork as a journalist and or whatever you want to call me, an aspiring writer or, poor guy trying to, make some waves, whatever you want to say. Make sure you check me out over there at ToledoFreePress.com. Just search my name, Mike Bauman, you'll find me. And you can also check us out at ToledoSportsNetwork.com because we've got some high school sports still coming your way with basketball season getting ready to get underway here. It's always exciting. I'm a big hoops guy, and I'm really looking forward to this season in particular because we saw some kids really develop last year, in particular in this area, Mikey, where you live in Rossford, Mr. Manny Durden.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's going to be a good young player. And
they actually play Saturday night, and it's called it's driving me nuts. It's the Foundation game or something. So I'm going to talk to Coach Vorst and see if maybe we can get that game on TV.
Yeah, in Gibsonburg, they can hit those threes.
Yeah, they're going to be tough. Yesterday, which was Sunday here, we tape on Mondays here for this, I was over at St. Francis with Sean Reed, Todd Mitchell, and all the boys, the new professional basketball league. It's called the American Basketball League, and they were having tryouts there. And they had about 150 guys there, and it's basically it's a kind of a
semi-pro.
It's a league to get the guys interested in playing international basketball, to get these guys like over to Greece and to Italy and places like this, because that's where the money's at for basketball right now. Because the ABA is no longer. All of the professional leagues are falling apart in America. So these guys are putting this league together, and they're actually going to be there's going to be a team in Detroit for the first year, and the second year there will be a team in Toledo.
Wow!
And it's pretty interesting.
I wonder who's putting it on, like who's setting it all up for this.
I know the answer to that. I just can't tell you the.
Is it a former player?
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah.
it?
I just it completely.
And it's going to be the ABL.
The ABL, yep. And they had tryouts.
So did you try out?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did.
Were you out there banging?
I got to be honest with you, though. Out of all of those guys out there, there was only one skinny white dude like me out there. Seriously. There was some incredible basketball out there. Matter of fact, one of the guys involved is Eric Newsom.
Okay.
Eric used to play for, I want to say Bowser back when Eric was like, he played... he played for Miami, didn't he, in college?
I'm kind of
Little
familiar
guy.
with the name. Yeah,
he's one of the guys that is putting the money into it. And,
okay.
Eric was like 5'10" in a basketball game against me. Literally, I went to set a charge at 5'10", went over my head, and slammed. in a basketball game.
Jeez.
I'm standing there in charge position, and he went right over top of me.
That's when the whole gym.
Yeah.
And you're just jogging down the other end of the court. Like,
I know. I went up
damn
to
it.
him. I go, dude, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. Yeah, that
Like,
was.
I just got dressed down.
Yeah.
But you know what? Big fellas get dunked on all the time. That's when you're in the lane. It happens. You know.
Yeah, but not by a 5'10" guy. You know, it's like, oh my goodness.
Did he jumped over you?
Over me?
Wow.
Over me.
Wow.
Over me.
That is great. How long ago was that?
Well, had it been 80 or 81.
Oh, it was in a high school game?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant it was like a pickup game.
No.
As Harry Caray would say,
Oh no, Mike Jameson of Toledo, Christian.
or no, you were
that's
Cardinal
great.
Stritch.
Yeah, that was ugly.
And Eric Newsom brings it up. He comes through the plate and he goes down the plate. It looks like Jameson for Cardinal Stritch steps up to take the charge. And oh my!
It was ugly.
Newsom at 5'10" and about $1.85.
Oh, $1.85, about
Winner,
$1.45.
chicken dinner. Jumps over Mike Jameson.
Cute.
Good thing he goes to a Catholic school because he'll need to say his prayers after that one. Because he's going to have nightmares.
Oh, brother.
That's crazy, man. Well, at least they're getting something going. I'm not surprised that there was a lot of guys that came out though, because we've had a lot of really good basketball.
None from Toledo. That was
Oh.
I didn't even finish. There was like 2 or 3 guys from Toledo.
That's it?
They had people from Tennessee, Indiana.
This is at St. Francis.
Yeah.
Wow.
All of these people were from out of town. It was really weird.
So did you just show up to talk to Sean, or
yeah,
to see
Sean
what was
does
going
our
on?
chalk talk.
Yeah.
And Sean's going to do a lot more stuff with us here with basketball this year. And Sean was one of the guys that put the whole thing together. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man.
You probably should get back to music. This is just pretty much telling me we're going to have to put our webcast together for the Toledo Sports Network now too, since we got so many of them. You know, we got 2 or 3 of them going on board now. So
Well, I'm sure people will love it.
we'll figure out
know.
a day.
If they're not familiar with us by now, hopefully they'll get familiar with us over here at Bauman's Breakdown. We like to ramble a little bit. We talk about stuff, but we're real, man. You know what I mean? This isn't scripted.
That should be our song.
We're real.
Zeppelin, Ramble
You know?
On.
Ramble on.
Ramble On.
I think it should be Rough Riders Anthem from DMX.
That's a good one too.
Stop. Shut them down, open up shop, baby. That's a Rough Riders roll.
All right, I got to go shave my armpits and make a day of this.
But once again, thank you. Thank you, Jared Cole of Surrender the Fall. I really, really did appreciate the time, man, and I'm rooting for you guys. And I just wish you nothing but the best in the future. And I hope that I can get to see you guys the next time you come through Toledo, because that's the only tough thing about doing what I do. And I love doing what I do, but sometimes, you know, with the other stuff I got going on, I don't always get a chance to go see the shows, you know. And I would love to see these guys live. So thanks again, Jared. Thank you again, Erica. And Surrender the Fall, like I said, check them out at facebook.com/surrenderthefall. Go to their website, surrenderthefall.com. Check out their new album, their debut album, not just their new album, but their debut, and Burn in the Spotlight. I really think you'll love it. It's real, it's rock and roll, and it's straight out of Memphis, baby. And once again, check us out, ToledoFreePress.com. Type in my name, Mike Bauman. You can also follow me on Twitter at mbauman5, Bauman. That's how you spell it. And check out Mikey's handiwork over at ToledoSportsNetwork.com and Great Lakes Golf Today. He's also a local DJ, you know, spinning the tapes, getting the Rough Riders anthems going.
I rocked this
you know.
weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, I got to do a Yankees New York
that's right.
Yankees.
We didn't even talk about that. We got
Clayton
so caught up.
Rapata. Yeah, that was cool. That was a good wedding, man. I've made it up. I've made it up, man. I'm now part of the upper echelons of the Yankees.
So now, did you meet and talk to him? I'm sure, right?
Who,
Because he's the
Clayton?
bride
Clayton
and
was in
groom.
my house.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, we just couldn't say anything. He just said, "Dude, just don't say anything. Afterwards, I don't care, but just keep it cool. You know, all right."
What do you mean? Don't say anything.
Well, because he was going to have some Yankees there. You know, he said, I don't need you to have like 47 assistants that night.
Oh, he meant like don't.
Yeah,
he
just
meant,
keep it cool.
Yeah, because
I'm telling you, some of the absolute best-looking girls I've ever in my entire life seen. And then there were the ones that are a little older now, that are maybe trying too hard.
Yeah. Dude, baseball players get some. They get some good looking tail. That's
train
for
wrecks,
sure.
too. There were some train wrecks.
But anyway, yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun doing this one this week. I can't believe we're in week 8 already of this. It's just moving right along. So thank you for checking us out. The last time I checked, I was closing in on 1,400 views on the channel.
Oh, awesome. Good job.
So it's more than doubled in like the last less than 2 weeks. So thank you,
Has to
everybody.
be the Harry Caray stuff.
I might be, or Matthew McConaughey.
He looks like crap right now, man. Well, he's losing all that weight for that new...
He's doing the method acting, man. You know,
It's like down to 138 pounds. They
good.
just showed him on Good Morning America. My God.
that's less than I weigh right now.
I mean,
Do I look emaciated?
no.
Okay.
Do I look fat?
No.
Do I look, you son of a bee?
No. But anyway.
Turn this thing off. I got to go
Yes.
shave my arm.
Yes. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks for checking us out. I love you guys. Keep it up. I really appreciate the love and support for Bauman's Breakdown. And once again, if anything else, take this away from what you heard today. Keep the faith and be kind to one another. Peace.